Melissa is a very close friend of mine, so my initial
Oh,
reaction was total
I'm
devastation.
so sorry.
Um, so we served together for 13 years in the Minnesota House. For 4 years, I was the majority leader while she was the speaker, so I was her number two. And we came through some very challenging times: the COVID-19, the death of the murder of George Floyd, the ensuing riots. We had many, many, many months of negotiating in divided government over very challenging issues. And Melissa became a very strong, very effective speaker and leader. Through that experience, and for her to lose her life this way, and for Mark, it's utterly devastating.
Of course it is. News Nation earlier spoke with another former Minnesota state lawmaker, Melissa Lopez Franzen. Let's take a listen to some of what she told us.
There was a tie in the Minnesota House, and she gave up her title as Speaker and became Speaker Emeritus to make progress and making sure that we can move forward in the legislative session. So she was never about herself. She was always about her constituents, the work that she was doing, and she found a way to get that work done through hard times. And we know that there are politically tough times right now.
How is your community remembering their leader and your colleague?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's yesterday's events were shocking and horrifying. I think a lot of us are just trying to connect and remember and be there for each other first and foremost. Melissa was she was a suburban mom who got involved in politics because she wanted to make a difference. As Melissa Franzen said, she was not about herself. She was not flashy. She was not trying to get attention for herself. She was trying to get the job done, and she leaves a legacy that will be very, very hard for people to live up to. So, we're just shocked and horrified by this.
Yeah. I mean, and we had Governor Tim Walz yesterday. He's taking to the microphone and trying to ease fears there. This guy's still on the loose, telling everybody, lock your doors, and also urging folks not to go to the No Kings protests in the entire state, although some did still go on. But this is coming at a time where political leaders of both parties have been targeted. They've been attacked inside their homes. We had what happened to Shapiro in Pennsylvania. We know not long ago. You got some other examples here on your screen. How important is it to take the temperature down? You've got Democrats and Republicans, especially after our president had 2 assassination attempts on his life while he was running. But neither side seems to do it. It might be muted or neutered for a day or two, and then it just comes right back up and ratchets right back up.
Unfortunately, we're at a time of a lot of confusion and chaos. The political parties don't necessarily stand for what they used to stand for. There's a lot of confusion about what's happening in the country. There's still the after effects of a global pandemic. And there's a lot of incentives through social media, through the fragmented media environment that we're in, for people to go to the extreme in order to get more attention. And it is fueling a level of chaos that I don't think the vast majority of Americans, and certainly not the vast majority of Minnesotans, want for our country. We don't want this for our state. And eventually, somehow, some way, the public will, for a more decent, more civil, a more cohesive kind of American politics, is going to come back. In what form, we don't know, but I know it will come back.
Right. I also want to hit on this. Part of what made this so bewildering yesterday, along with it being a politically motivated, targeted attack, according to Governor Walz, was that we're told the suspect, he went to both of these homes posing as a police officer wearing a uniform, and then reports, too, that he had a fake police vehicle. What do you make of all of that? Like, how is that all possible? And, what's your advice to people in your community?
I mean, there's so much we don't know, and I don't necessarily want to speculate about either motives or what kind of training or experience this individual may have had. He's represented himself to be, an expert in security. That may not be the case. He seems to be a very disturbed person, obviously. And I think the fact that he was dressed as a police officer was probably intentional as a way to potentially gain trust or to evade first suspicions if he's on the run someplace. I don't know what his thought process was, but I do know that what he did was obviously grisly and horrifying, and some of the images that we've seen of him in masks and so forth are absolutely nightmarish.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.